Assalamu alaikum. My name is Malik Najmul Siraj and I'm here to continue my previous lecture on web and HTTP. We have completed our previous lecture on, we have discussed detail about the web and HTTP, and I told you at that point that HTTP is a stateless protocol. What it means by stateless, that HTTP protocol do not itself remember something, but in our experience we find out a different behavior of the HTTP, that whenever we do browsing, there are something that my browser actually remembers and show me the advertisements, maybe some advertisements and password accordingly, and some other places it also remembers the passwords of my account and automatically log in, and there are many other things that it remembers. So these are the two or three different things that we mostly feel while we do browsing in our daily life. So itself, HTTP do not have a capability to actually remember anything. HTTP uses cookies to actually store the state. Many websites use cookies. There are four cookies. There are four components. We will see how cookies work. There are four components of cookies. Cookies header line of the HTTP response message. Whenever you open a web page, you send a request to a page, okay, and you send a get request to a page. In its response, the web page, if it wants to set a cookies on the client side, then it create a cookies and send that cookie in the response of that message. Cookies header line in the next HTTP request message, and then when your browser again opens or when you again send a request on the browser in which the cookie is already stored in your system, your browser take that cookies that is already stored that correspond to that specific domain name and send that cookies in its next request. It means that when you are in and you type some you go to some other links in that browser, the cookie is already set once you open the web page, and once you click on some other link on that page, you are sending a request to the web page, and at the back end the browser already set a cookie in your system, and once you click on the new request, the already stored cookie is also sent from your client browser to the server. Cookie file kept on the user host, managed by user browser. Okay, so you are sending that file, and backend database on the website. What it is doing, it has a database, and on that database it remembers that this cookie ID means this thing, this cookie ID means this thing, and this cookie ID means this thing. So it is remembering those things based upon that cookie ID. Example: Susan always access the internet from PC, visits some specific e-commerce site for the first time. Once you open the e-commerce site or any site for the first time, when initial HTTP request arrives at the site creates a unique ID. Okay? Once you open, it creates a unique ID. Entry in the backend database for the ID. It creates an entry in its backend database कि ये entry है जो कि इस user ID के against एक unique entry उसने कर दी है. Now it store that ID on the local system too. Cookies are sometimes mostly people thought of cookies are the dangerous things. ठीक है, you need to be because most of your things are stored in those cookies, and if someone actually stolen those cookies, he can actually pretend to be you on that web server. So let's try to learn more about cookies in action. So this is a client side and this is my server side, and let's assume that you already actually accessed the eBay website, and the eBay website stored a cookie on your system that has an ID of 8734. Okay, let's assume that you send a request to Amazon web server. You open an Amazon web server. you send an HTTP request to an Amazon web server. What Amazon does is Amazon creates an ID, because this is the first time you are visiting that. It creates an ID, and this is the ID number 1678 for the user, and it create an entry in its backend database against this ID. And then what it is doing is, in its response, it is sending that HTTP response. It is setting that cookie value on that client side, and they set that value to 1678. Okay. Now the client has two cookies, eBay cookie and Amazon cookie. Okay. Now in this way, actually server remembers, Amazon remembers about this system regarding this cookie. Okay. So again, usual request sent and a usual reply back. You get a reply, specific cookie is in action. उसने कुछ database में देखा and then उसका response आ गया. ठीक है. You open, you do some search. ठीक है. And then it is storing that information in its database, that this cookie ID is actually stored in this database, and in previously it performed such searches on the system. So let's say after a week, you on Amazon website, you search for something for your Amazon website, and then once you came back after, let's assume after a week, again you open the Amazon.com. Once you open the Amazon.com, in your HTTP GET request, again now this cookie is sent to a server. So this server, the server, Amazon server, already stored this cookie in its database. It searched for these cookies and find out that this person already searched such and such things. So it sent a response back, and HTTP response back to the client. And now in this, after a week, once the client again come and open the Amazon server, the Amazon knows that this client already already searched for certain products, so it can show those products related to those products as an add to that, so that those products are actually client interested in. So this is the purpose of the cookie in general for the web server, so for the e-commerce websites. So cookies. But cookies are not limited to that. Cookies can be used for authorization. ठीक है, authorization के लिए use हो रही है कि you perform authorization. Authorize किसी को कर दिया गया है, and then based upon that authorization you automatically log in on that system. It's used on the shopping cart. ठीक है, we already talked about recommendations, and based upon that mostly you feel mostly I'm telling you the example of the recommendation where you are using cookies to actually recommend some other different products that is related to that, and use a session state. You are remembering the state के session अभी किसमें. How to keep cookie state. Protocol endpoints maintain state at the sender and the receiver over multiple transactions. Cookies HTTP carry the state information. This is the cookie which is carry the state information कि मेरे पास अब वो किस state के ऊपर खड़ा है based using the session ID. Cookies and privacy. Cookie permit site to learn a lot about you. You may supply name and email to the site. There are many. Okay, so I can show you cookies. The purpose of cookies is very diverse, and there are actually session cookies that is storing the session information. You can find a lot of information in many other different websites. There are persistent cookies, secure cookies that actually differentiate between HTTP and HTTPS cookies, because certain you don't want your cookie to be hijacked by some other, so you are using a secure cookie so that cookies cannot be hijacked by the HTTP only cookie that is set on the HTTP, and it is only used during the HTTP communication. Same site cookies and third party cookies, and there are many more. Okay, so there are multiple ways to see those cookies. Now let's say I have opened that website. Okay, in that website, this is an HTTPS website because there is a lockup here over there, and it is a secure. Once I click on that log, it is providing me certain different information. But right now, our information of interest is cookies. So once I click on that cookie, it shows me that the following cookies were set when you viewed this page. Okay, these are the cookies that are set, and those cookies are for wikipedia.org and then enwikipedia.org. That means that this cookie is only accessible by Wikipedia and enwikipedia.org. Okay. And now if I open that, it shows that it has a cookie folder and it has two cookies. One cookie is GeoIP, okay, and other cookie is last access global. Now there are multiple websites where you can find the information about those cookies. Now let's say I want to get that information. So it is saying that this cookie, it has a name of this thing and it has a content of PK IS Islamabad, and this is my IP address. Okay, this is my IP address and I'm using version 4. So it is basically actually it is used to actually pinpoint me, identify me that what is my geographical location. And the encyclopedia is setting that cookie on my system so that it can show me certain content which is allowed and actually hide certain other content which is not allowed in my area. So by the way, there is let's say I just copy that thing and then I go and open this website which is cookiepedia.co.uk, and over there I just paste that and then click on search. So it also shows that this cookie name is associated with the functionality to convert a user IP into geographical location record. It would be most commonly be used to serve content to user based on this location. So it is showing the content on based on the user location. So this encyclopedia is using the content based location based content cookie, and there's another cookie. If you again Google copy it and place it over there, you will find out the information about this cookie, the purpose of this cookie. So about this cookie, there is not yet any general information about this cookie based on its name. If you had any, so this cookie is still unknown. It's not known to them. So this is one way of identifying it, but there are many more ways. Now let's see. I'm just exploring the cookies of AliExpress website. So we mostly actually we have this is another way. What I did is I just type AliExpress, so it opens the AliExpress, and then I click on F12. So once I click on F12, it gives me a developer mode. On that developer mode, I just open the cookies and then click on this cookie, and this cookie is, and then click on this thing. So it shows me. You can by the way go over there and then also check for the cookies. So you see now AliExpress use 52 different cookies. It is setting 52 different cookies on your systems, and there is a cookie which is for the Facebook. So we will look into it and what is the purpose of that cookie which it is using for Facebook. We will see. Let's say हम लोग यहीं से देख लेते हैं. This is a convenient way of looking into it. So it is using how many cookies for Facebook? It is using these cookies for the Facebook, and based upon that it shows the actually the ads on the Facebook based on your it set the cookie so that now the Facebook, once you go to the Facebook can have that cookie, and based on that cookie Facebook actually shows you the actually ads related to AliExpress on your Facebook page, and that is specific ads that actually deal with your previous experience of the of your shopping that you did in your, or your search you did in your AliExpress. So let's say I just copy this data and let's see if we find information about this cookie data. It's not general, so it is using some specific cookies that it knows how to actually process them. So once it is sending those cookies back to Facebook processes it and it shows the respective AliExpress content based on that. So this is another way of looking into the cookies. So there are a lot of cookies that are set on your system, that are set by the HTTPS. So this is a simple methodology of setting. While you are setting, you are saying that I am setting this cookie, and this cookie is for this domain, and the path of this cookie is whatever is the path. You identify the path. Cookies can be secure, cannot be secure, and once you cannot access any insecure cookies in a secure channel. Okay? If a cookie is secured, then that is only used in case of an HTTPS, not in the HTTP.